Here's a brief screencast to walk you through the Excel assignment. If you go to the course tools site, you should get a page that looks sort of like this, and there's a link on the page to a spreadsheet containing the data. This should take you directly to the data, although if you have problems, you can just go into Google Drive and the data should be shared with you there under a shared document. So if I click on this, it'll open up a new tab with the data. The data here have 7 columns and about 840 rows. They're broken in first by the participant number, so you can see it's participant 6, 13, 3, and so on, and these are sort of arbitrarily chosen. The next column is the stim set. If you remember, the experiment either had you choose between 2, 4, or 8 options, and so this tells you how many there are. The next is the stimulus. What was the number stimulus? The next is the response. What was the response given? Next is the correct response. Now this should be identical to stimulus. And next is correct. It's a 1 if they made the right response, and a 0 if they got the incorrect response. And you can see here is an example where the correct answer was 6. They put 5, so they got it incorrect. And finally, the RT, the response time in milliseconds, or 1/1000th of a second, that indicates this is 2.5 seconds, this is 16.9 seconds, this is 0.66 seconds, and we'd expect on average people to be able to make this decision in less than a second usually, so some of these are sort of very large outliers. What you're going to need to do is to download this so that you can open it in Excel. To do that, you go to the File menu, Download, and you can choose Microsoft Excel, and it might give you the option to open it directly, but if you're using Chrome, it puts it down here, and you need to go and open it explicitly. Now following these directions should get you through the first part. Notice, I guess because I downloaded this, I have to enable editing. You may or may not need to do that. And all the data are still here in the same way. Now you may want, for part 2, you're going to need to do about 4 different analyses on these. And to do that, you're going to want to create a different worksheet for each data set. So notice it says sheet 1 here. If you double click on this and just call it 2A, because you're going to use this for problem 2A. If you want to make a copy of this, you right click on this and we can say move or copy and create a copy. Hit OK. Now I can change the name of that to 2B, so on. So I can have 2A, 2B, and make copies of this. Now, for each problem, you just need to do things like sorting by different columns and finding averages. So I think the first example is to sort by subject code to find the mean response times or something like that. So just like we did before, you can actually select the whole block, go to data, sort, and of course it should already be sorted by subject code, but maybe in a slightly different order. And now if I want to find the mean accuracy of subject 1, I can do equals average and then select, or for subject 3, the 80 blocks of data, or the 120 blocks of data for subject 3. You can see that 3 ends right here. And I go back up here, you can see that it averaged F2 to F121. And I can do by just dragging this over, it will find the mean RT. Now, you need to do this for each of the participants, and so you're going to have to redo this for the different blocks of data, either by hand or by dragging around. All right, that's the basic